Hey guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel. Now that I'm getting back into the swing of things, I want to start doing my comics wrap-ups again. I kind of stopped reading comics for a while, but I've recently gotten really back into it, and I've noticed some people wanting to find more booktubers who talk comics. So I'm going to hopefully do one every month, or at least in the months where I've read enough to talk about it in a separate video. So the first thing I want to talk about this month is a graphic memoir. It is probably just objectively the best thing I read this month, if not in quite some time. And that is The Best We Could Do by T. Bowie. So first off, it's beautiful. Even with the dust jacket off, it's gorgeous. And the contents inside are just as gorgeous. It is about T. Bowie, and it focuses on her family, particularly her parents growing up in Vietnam, and how they kind of individually grew up within their families, how they came together and met, got married, and started a family amidst the backdrop of political turmoil and the Vietnam War, eventually escaping with their family Vietnam and eventually moving to California. And so this looks at, obviously, a very complicated political situation that I don't think it's crazy to say that most of us don't know much about the Vietnam War, and I think especially we Americans probably need to think about it a lot more than we do, especially the truth of the Vietnam War. And we don't often, I think, see enough perspectives from the Vietnamese people. And this really helps sort of begin to fill that gap. And it is just tremendously done. I think one of the biggest kind of themes she uses to express her ideas through is this idea of home. And home is it's a very emotional thing. It's also a very tricky thing, and it's a very, can be a very tenuous thing, and something that just is so intricate and important to who we are, but can be just changed from day to day. And even a place you feel like you've known for years and years and years can change like almost overnight. And she just handles that topic really, really well. She also really delves into the relationships between parent and child, especially with her and her parents, and how complicated her parents' past is and how that shaped who they are, and which shaped her growing up, but sort of having to understand some of their failures as parents to her, and where that comes from, and just the failures that their childhood handed them. And she tells that through the lens of having her first son. And it's a tremendous graphic memoir. You know, I think it absolutely belongs beside things like Persepolis and Mouse. The art style is very, very sort of like the Tamakis. That's what it really reminded me of. So if you like the Tamakis and their art, you can kind of see sort of a repetitive color palette, but the same kind of drawing style I think you'll see in something like This One Summer. Very effective, really beautiful and moving at times. Love some of these like one-page spreads, are just gorgeous. So I can't recommend this highly enough. If you haven't given this a shot, definitely pick this up. I also then read just a bunch of sort of fun, more lighthearted Marvel comics. For book club this month, we actually read the first 2 trade paperback volumes of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl by Ryan North and Erica Henderson. You guys, if you like Lumberjanes, if you like Giant Days, if you like Miss Marvel, if you like any of those sort of more accessible and entertaining and lighthearted comics, I just like beseech you to pick up The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. It's literally about a girl with the powers of a squirrel, and this is her like sidekick, an actual squirrel named Tippy Toe. She's Doreen Green, she's in college, and she's just kind of having to deal with, you know, all of the things that young women have to deal with. There's a lot of body positivity in here. There's a lot of stuff about friendship, and, you know, being in college. She also has a really great sassy relationship with Tony Stark. Her roommate Nancy becomes just a really good friend of hers, and Nancy, I really love that Nancy gets a lot of her own storylines. Like, she goes to Asgard all by herself, and she's just a regular human, and she gets to meet Cat Thor, as played by Loki. It's so much fun. I think it's got so much heart and warmth and intelligence, and it's great for all ages, so you can share this with literally anyone in your life. And I think that's the sign of a truly great comic. And plus, this comic has survived so many incredibly ridiculous Marvel-like slashings, of Marvel just getting rid of all of its female-driven books. I mean, I am so glad that Doreen has managed to survive all that. And my book club loved this. So, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, I mean, honestly, if you just want some joy in your life, this is some joy. And then kind of along those same lines, I read the first 2 in what will only be 3 volumes because, like I said, Marvel likes to slash things. And that is Kelly Thompson's Hawkeye series. So I read the first volumes, 1 and 2. This is 2. The 3rd's coming out soon. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But this follows Kate Bishop as Hawkeye. If you didn't know, there are 2 Hawkeyes. There's Clint Barton, which most people know, but Kate is the better Hawkeye. She'll tell you all about it. Kate is fun, Kate is young, Kate is moving to LA to open up her own like PI business because her hero is Jessica Jones, who does make an appearance if you like Jessica Jones. And she goes out, she kicks ass, and then she wants tacos afterwards. And she creates this really great group of friends, kind of like, I think they're literally called the Scooby Gang at one point, and they're a lot of fun. And it's funny and heartwarming, and Kate is actually dealing with some pretty big issues in the fact that her father might be a supervillain and he might have killed her mother. So those are some really heavy things that help kind of ground the levity of the series, I think. And you will also see appearances from Lucky and Clint himself. I will say, if you've never read Kate Bishop comics, that I would recommend starting with Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, because while Matt Fraction's Hawkeye centers Clint Barton Hawkeye, Kate is in there, and she's very much this Kate. I think that Kate is very much the precursor to this Kate, and I love Kate and Clint's relationship in that book, and I think that's kind of, if you read that and get that, and it's only 22 issues, and it's super, super great. When Clint shows up in here, I think it'll have more of sort of an emotional impact, and like Lucky, you guys, Lucky. So yeah, if you're looking for some fun Marvel comics, you could do a lot worse than Hawkeye and the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl for just pure warmth and joy in your life. So that's me done for comics in January, and I will see you guys again very soon to talk about the books I read.